choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the ones going to the promised land. We don't think Jews are a part of God. No, Jews are nothing but another part of that same race of devils that come out of Europe. Black people are standing up. Black people are rising up, and they're starting fight.
We were slaves in Egypt. We belong to the Father, ain't no pledge of allegiance. We both to celebrate that killing that he didn't need you. We both to keep the holy days, don't be like the heathen. He said
Black
that
Americans switched their allegiance in the 1930s from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. If you're an A-push, you gotta know this. Now, it's not hard to understand why Black Americans aligned with the Republican Party after the Civil War. It was Republicans who ended slavery, and the Democrats wanted to keep it going. It was Republicans who got the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments passed, all of which recognized the fundamental constitutional rights that had been long denied to America's black population, and it was Democrats who fought against it. So why in the world would black voters all of a sudden switch their allegiance to the Democratic Party? Well, for that, it took a cataclysmic economic event called the Great Depression. While many Americans suffered terribly during this event, on the whole, black Americans often suffered more. Now remember, this is in an era before the Civil Rights Movement, and in many places, black workers had difficulty getting hired for what few jobs were available, and then when cutback time came, they were the first to be fired. So in the election of 1932 and 1936, the Democrat Franklin Roosevelt made ambitious promises about economic recovery, and those promises appealed profoundly to black voters, and so they voted en masse for a Democrat for the first time since the Civil War, and that's it.
We will not continue to be disrespected by the Democratic Party. As I said yesterday, and I'll say today and tomorrow, if you're an independent candidate, Green Party candidate, Republican candidate, now is your time in this city. Candidate, Republican candidate, now is your time in this city.
What up, y'all? It's Papa Z. Man, Chicago. Boy, the citizens in Chicago are fed up, man. They thinking about, I ain't even gonna say thinking about, they talking about they're gonna vote Republican.
And I heard someone say earlier that here in Chicago, we're talking about turning away from the Democratic Party. I have already turned. I will be voting Republican this time around. And I don't think that that's just a sentiment of Carter Trust. I think that's the sentiment of a lot of people around the entire United States. And
they flipping from blue to red due to the migrant crisis that's going on. They don't have any more room for them. They say they're shutting down schools, parks, and places like that to house the migrants, and they had enough.
We don't have an adequate place for those people to stay. And so to continue to have them come here, to me, just does not make any sense. And so when you say that to both local government as well as the President Biden, and no one is listening, you know, we the people have to say, well, you know what? If you're not going to listen to us, then we're going to need to take our votes elsewhere.
You know what?
They looking at all the money that's being spent on those migrants, and they're not happy about that because the citizens out there need the money. And I'm with them. I don't think it's right, you know? People are struggling out there. I'm talking about the citizens. They struggling. And they're watching you guys spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on this migrant situation. We got this resident, her name is Carter Trust, and she's speaking nothing but facts. And a lot of people in Chicago are backing what she's saying and feel the same way she feel.
That's right.
You don't hear any other community talking this plural talk.
That's right.
They strictly speak for themselves.
You got to.
The Chinese in Chinatown speak for Chinese, right?
That's right.
The Greeks in Greek town speak for Greeks.
That's right.
The Hispanics in Little Village speak for Hispanics.
That's right.
Rightfully so. And black people speak for black people.
Oh, yes, sir.
Black Americans.
Yes, sir.
We're not African American. We're not people of color. We're not black and brown, minority.
That's right.
BIPOC, none of that. People, no, none of that. Strict, this is about our people demanding the resources. just as you're giving these people, these newcomers who are walking into this country.
All right, you're right. Thank you.
And sister's correct. How do you take a new group of people that have paid no taxes, can't vote, and you put them in front of the voters?
I'm not going to pay them no damn taxes.
And so we say this to you, Mayor, Governor, President. If you think that they're that powerful that you have to acquiesce and answer to them over us, then you tell them to vote for you in these next elections.
That's right.
You tell them to support your Democratic National Convention. And we're going to show you how we feel about the Democratic National Convention.
Turn it out.
Thank you.
If you think you're going to have a peaceful Democratic National Convention in the city of Chicago while our people are starving,
That's right.
stay tuned.
You know, she's mad because they shutting down the schools, parks, just all kind of stuff that's going on in Chicago. The kids out there don't have jobs. They don't have anything to do. They got a lot of crime out there. And then bringing a lot of the migrants is causing issues out there for real.
People who are Negro, Black, and colored are classed together because it's a classification of people who have no rights. The brandings is to keep them divided from each other. Because if they all went in one direction, they would be empowered, even under a brand. Do you understand? They would be empowered, even under a brand. Do you understand what I'm saying? Although there would be certain limited international rights, they would have power even if they all agreed to the same brand. And they don't know that the brand disallows them to inherit anything. They don't even know that they're classified as being constitutionally in a state of psychosis. There's a legal term that goes with that. I'll post that on the website. You'll see it. You understand what I'm saying? So we're looking at things right and wrong morally. You know what's right and wrong by your nature. You know if something's done wrong to you or if someone's mistreated. And we're looking at the moral argument and think that the moral argument therefore puts us in the category of right, when the status is not right. Well, when the status is not right, the right law don't apply to you. This is what people are not doing. So without a proper legal status, i.e. status, rank in society, your capacities and your incapacities to exercise liberties in any society on the planet. It's not just here. Our concepts about some of these things are being told. A lot of times our people think that that's just our opinions for this moment that they're learning now. These principles that we're expressing are Rotarian.
What is Rotarian?
That means universal. And these same principles apply in Russia too. You go there, call yourself light skin, orange skin, black guy, and see how much right you got. You let a Russian come here and talk about his Xing Hao Ming. See how many rights he got. You come selling me a pit bull, talking about he's got all his shots and everything, and he goes meow. And see how that goes along. And this is, our people don't understand these principles yet because no one has challenged their mind with these principles because they haven't been taught law. They don't know anything about stats, not that they don't in general, but as a mass, our people have no idea that these things, these status principles are the first issues at law in any area of civilization. The first judicial issues is status, then you're talking jurisdiction and venue, and then adjudication. They go to adjudication because the status is already neutralized. And they can claim the jurisdiction in a ministerial court even if it has no judicial powers. Because you're under a corporation, you're not under a natural person. This is what's this is the subtleties that's very important. And we went over it earlier. Yeah.
Back to who we are, I don't see how you don't see.
You're the Lazarus. You're the dry bones. You're the prodigal son. You're the lost sheep. You're the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last days when the trumpet is sounded.
I shall keep it until the end. Give me understanding, and I shall keep your law. Yea, I shall observe it with my whole heart. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.